Habitats in Papillion by Austin Rhoda. Overall, we have 3 main places in Papillion, Nebraska that wildlife could populate. There's Walnut Creek and Halleck Park and Papillion Creek, which goes all the way through Papillion and it goes past Papillion. And then, so going deeper into Walnut Creek, so there's lots of different vegetation there, as well as Walnut Creek has 3 sections of water for hydration. The area of terrain in Walnut Creek is large for wildlife, based on the area of the whole space. And overall, it's just a very green and very beautiful nature spot. And then Halleck Park and Papillion Creek. Halleck Park has plenty of vegetation. There's no question for that. And then Papillion Creek is a great source of water as well, as they have the pond inside Halleck, but they have Papillion Creek, which is just an enormous amount of water for all the wildlife around there. And then there's a large set of covering vegetation, but there's also a lot of traffic between the vegetation and Halleck Park, which is the only issue. And there's also a lot of foot traffic in Halleck Park because there's a lot of people who go there for sports, to fish, to do a bunch of different activities. So overall for Halleck, I would say these green pathways on this diagram here are pathways that we would create for animals to cross, for them to be able to get from one vegetation area to another without getting pushed away into the current of the creek or without being hit by a car and just adding on to roadkill. And then I also believe that we should add some bioswales and create some stock tanks for animals to hydrate themselves. And I showed this by the blue color in the presentation. And then the red locations are also for invasive species. And then the yellow locations are new construction areas where we can implement different ideas and solutions to better construction and the buildings that are being brought in for pollution and that, to help the wildlife increase instead of decrease. And then Walnut Creek renovations, there's not very many because it's such a great spot already, but there is a great big spot of vegetation that you could add some stock tanks to, which I showed with the blue circle. I figured we could add some stock tanks there, get some more hydration in there for the coyotes and the other animals that live within that region. And then the yellow areas are just another area of construction that we can just implement those different and new ideas. We could do this by implementing some infrastructure that would be wildlife friendly and just creating gardens and places that wildlife wouldn't be pushed away from, and instead of taking away their territory and taking it for ourselves, that we would be sharing it with them. In conclusion, Papillion, Nebraska faces significant challenges as it grows, but with careful planning and dedicated conservation, we can protect and restore our natural ecosystems. By prioritizing wildlife corridors, managing invasive species, and integrating green infrastructure, we have the opportunity to create more sustainable, thriving community if we make biodiversity a key focus in urban development. Papillion can lead the way in balancing growth with environmental care, ensuring a vibrant future for both our wildlife and our residents. Thank you.